Hello everyone, welcome back to Tarot with Shizu. My name is Shizu and I will be facilitating your tarot reading today. So I had a lot of ideas as to what I should read about. But actually right now I don't somehow feel like any of those ideas. I don't know if you're doing any of those readings. They will come later on. But today I thought that I often get questions from my clients. It's almost like they finish a part of a project or a chapter of their life, and then they're wondering, so what now? It's almost as if those people have these A, B, C, and D things that they can work on, but they don't really know where to start or what to focus on, or it could be that they really don't know what's next. So I thought that if you are in that sort of situation, this is the reading for you, regardless of the timing. At the moment, I'm recording this in late June 2022. But it doesn't have to be any time restriction. If you find this reading thinking, what's next and what should I focus on next, then this is the good reading for you. So let's begin. So I have chosen 3 groups, and each group has 2 cards today. And lately I'm really liking the 2-card system. It just gives you a little bit more information than just the 1-card reading. So you can choose one of the 3 options. Or in some cases, I know that some of you like to look at all of them and sort of take bits and pieces of information that works for you. And if that's your approach, go right ahead with that. So let's see the cards. So this is option number 1. This is option number 2. And then this is option number 3. This one, 1, 2, 3. So you might like to take a deep breath, sit nice and tall, calming the breath, calming the mind, and ask yourself, what's next for me? What should I focus on right now? Option number 1. Option number 2, and option number 3. All right, so hopefully you have chosen by now. And today's deck is called the Mythic Tarot. The deck is based on Greco-Roman myth. As you can see, the High Priestess, for example, is Persephone, the goddess Persephone, the goddess of underworld, all of that, and the world, hermaphrodite, and like that. So it's pretty much, surrounding the lores and myths about heroes and deities of Greco-Roman mythology. So I hope you will enjoy this deck. So let's start. The option number 1. You get 3 of Swords and 6 of Swords. Quite interesting. I'm actually very glad that you have this combination, actually. So let's take a look at these cards together. So the cards came in this order: 3 of Swords and the 6 of Swords. And Yes, this card is actually one of the more gory ones in the deck. And as you can see, there is this person who is in a bathtub, but he almost looks like a coffin. And then these two figures are piercing three swords into pretty much the heart of this person. Now, I often wonder, okay, so it's one from her, one from him. Who's this one, it does this belong to? But I mean, you don't really have to ask that sort of question. Metaphysically speaking, I'm thinking it's almost like, let's say, if this is a situation you are in, you might identify yourself as this person, and there are two other parties involved in this sort of heartbreak, right? So it's like really literally a heartbreak, but it's a really tough situation, very sad situation. And then, but at the same time, maybe the third sword, it was you toward yourself. I mean, that's one way to think about it. That's how I like to kind of think about it. Yes, there are other people to be blamed, but maybe you aren't as kind as you could be to yourself, that sort of thing. Now, traditionally speaking, Three of Swords is really about heartbreak. Often, there might be some infidelities or heartbreaking situation, often about relationship with other people, but because the suit of swords is concerned with things to do with ideas and thought patterns and brain-oriented things, so it's often to do with the thought process that led you to realize that you are being betrayed, or some hurtful words or thoughts or ideas, and you feel that it's stabbing you, to the point that you feel defeated, really. So like this person. Now, yes, it's quite a gruesome situation, and quite, I wouldn't say it's a very ideal situation at all. Now, this one turns into this one. So, Six of Swords, as you can see, this person, really the directionality of the cards also suggests that, let's say you have been in this position, for whatever reason you feel defeated, by perhaps other people, but by yourself even. And then from this situation, you are actually turning back to that situation, saying, goodbye, I'm out of here. And then you have all those experiences in front of you. And then it's actually guiding you to a new place with new challenges. And yes, there is some tumultuous, the water element, meaning some sort of emotion. But you are standing firm, standing very balanced on top of those somewhat rocky waters, and then you are sailing, toward a new place, new situation, new, maybe even academic situation, because you can see the pantheon here. Again, this deck is based on Greco-Roman mythology, so this is the ancient city of Athens, the hub of everything, like the place to be. So you are going toward that exciting place. And also, traditionally speaking, Six of Swords is a card about moving on from whatever situation that was tricky. And, this card suggests that, you might have gone through something very tricky. And it was almost like you have ended, there was an end to a situation, and then you're moving on from that end. So I'm actually very glad that you got this card. And as hurtful and harsh and difficult as this situation must have been for you, now those experiences taught you, and then it's almost like protecting you from whatever that may come in front of you. So this is actually a good thing, and as hard as this situation must have been it was actually a good lesson. In the long run, you will look back and think, okay, well, that happened and it made me stronger, right? So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Unfortunately for this mythical figure, he died. But think of this card as a, more of a spiritual way or energetic way. It was a death of some sort of situation, thought process, ideas, whatever. There was an end to it. And then now you are able to move on from it. Now, just because you might have experienced some sort of ending, and a very tricky one and very difficult one at that, you might feel like not doing anything. And that's fine. For the moment, you might even want to take a little bit of break, not doing anything, not trying to move on right away. Because you see, even though these are the same sword, the suit of swords, this is number 3 and this is number 6. So, there are 3 numbers in between, right? So it could be indicating that you could take off maybe a couple months, away from a situation that was difficult for you, not doing anything. So let's say, for example, you might have a breakup there. And now you're wondering, so now what? What am I going to do? It might be a good idea to take a little break, not trying to meet anyone else, or, not even working on yourself, because you will start working yourself in the, next few months anyway. So don't try to move on too quickly. Remember that there are 3 numbers in between these 3 and the 6 of swords. So it's okay to take a little bit of time. And then, so there are 3 swords and there are 6 swords too, right? So, you can sort of, in the time of resting, you can probably amass, different sorts of information or different styles of thinking or ideas, and that sort of thing. You can have all of that in front of you to protect you from the new place. So yeah, don't worry about moving on too quickly, because you will be able to do that anyway. So that is option number 1. Quite a heavy one, I must say, but very hopeful. All right. Option number 2. You get Ace of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. So it's a curious combination to me. On the one hand, the Ace of Pentacles suggests that you are actually at a good beginning stage of building anything, something. So often it could be the financial career or financial independence, or it could be physical health. It could also be a house, something that's solid. And because it is the ace of that suit of pentacles, it is a beginning, and it's also almost like it's the possibility to start fresh. So it is an auspicious beginning. But on the other hand, you have the Hanged Man, and this is a major arcana. So the Hanged Man, you can see that this figure is in inertia. He has the foot tied and against a rock, and he almost looks like he's too tired to move or do anything about his situation. So on the one hand, it's a great beginning, almost like, this person is holding on to the pentacle. It's like, yes, I'm going to do it. On the other hand, I'm too tired. I can't be bothered. Now, the Hanged Man, traditionally speaking, it can be that, or it could be that the person in question, like you, who chose option 2, that person might be in a place of martyrdom, meaning that you might be complacent to a situation that is not ideal for you, but you are almost saying to yourself, well, if I don't take it, no one will. That sort of thing. And, just to give you a very mundane example, let's say you are at a company and someone has to clean the company kitchen, like little kitchen at the corner, right? And no one is really signed up to doing it. And because you're the nice person, you end up doing it all the time. And you kind of resent it in some ways. But again, because you're the nice one and you are the organized one and the tidy one, you continue to do it. And you say to yourself, well, I mean, no one else is going to do it. And, I might as well do it because I like to keep things tidy and I want to use it in a good condition, right? So that sort of thing. Now, it's a very mundane example, but it's kind of like that situation. You are stuck in a situation that you don't prefer, but at the same time you might see that as your mission, of course, in some ways. And this one, though, is about to start a new beginning, and it's a healthier beginning because the Suit of Pentacles suggests health, wealth, foundations, good foundation, and you can see that there's a lot of vegetation here, a lot of water here. Now, so my advice to you is that, let's say, for example, you are stuck in some way that you don't necessarily prefer. Ask yourself if that situation is actually helping you evolve in some ways. So, for example, in that mundane thing that I told you about, that kitchen, that workplace kitchen being always dirty, and you are the only one who cleans it up, ask yourself if that action actually gives you joy. If the answer is yes, then you are a true martyr, and then you are in this position by choice. And therefore, you will be able to take advantage of that solid foundation for your newfound whatever project that you are going to do, because that your decision gives you a solid sense of self and self-validation. It doesn't matter what other people see or whether other people see you doing that action, but it gives you the sense of purpose in some ways, so that you can take advantage of a new situation when it comes to you. And you might want to focus on either health building or wealth building as a new step. So even if you might think that this situation is not really related to health or wealth building, in an indirect way, it's actually affecting your whole personality or lifestyle. Yeah, because if you're not, for that example, let's say the answer to my question, does that action give you joy? If you answer, you know what, no, then you have a choice to make. Are you going to continue doing that action, regretting in the long run? Or are you going to make something out of that situation? So, if you are stuck in one situation, the Ace of Pentacles suggests that you are able to come out of that water, come out of that situation saying, hey, here is a solution. What do you think about this? So, yeah, I would urge you to ask yourself, if you feel stuck in one situation with different people, different circumstances, and if you feel stuck in there, ask yourself, does this situation give me joy? Yes or no? And depending on that answer, you will be able to figure out the next step. Because if you are resentful of this situation, you already have some sort of ideas how to make it better for you and perhaps for other people too. So in this situation, you see this little eagle. So this eagle is actually coming to help this person in the story. So think about that too. This eagle could be just an idea, or it could be a person who comes to give you different ideas or different resources, right? You might think you're alone doing all this thing in being stuck in a situation, but there's help available. With this help, go toward this knowing that your suggestion is a solid one. Ace of Pentacles, the suit of Pentacles is the earth element. Earth is solid and very concrete. So you will be able to come up with some sort of solution to this situation. It's a solid, concrete solution. At least an idea of a concrete solution. So good luck with that. Option number 3. You have Seven of Wands, and the Page of Cups. So let's take a look. So now the Seven of Wands, it's a confused card. It's chaos. So you might be in a situation that you are kind of looking for a good direction to go, but you don't really know where to go. And in this card, it almost seems like they don't know who's friend and who's foe, right? So it's one of those situations. It's a conflict. It's a chaotic situation where people don't know where things are and also who to fight against, right? So it's quite interesting, and also in some ways I've heard, and I don't know the validity of it, but I've heard that this card can indicate some sort of inflammation within your body. So it doesn't have to be anything serious. It could be simply an inflammation of like a bit of muscles, so you feel a little achy somewhere. It could be an onset of a cold, or it could also be a headache, that sort of thing. Some sort of minor inflammation in that the internal system is like, wow. One of those situations. Now, in contrast, this one, Page of Cups, look, it's like fire and water, right? So there's fire and it's like chaos, whereas this Page of Cups is very serene, very calm, lush, and a lot of water, and it's just quite a lovely contrast between these two cards. So what I'm picking up here by the Page of Cups, because the court cards, there's the Page, Knight, Queens, and King. So Page, it can often signify that it's a person. You might be this person, usually. So you might be a very calm and almost introverted. He's looking into this one cup almost longingly. It's like, I love this, looking at myself in the cup, in the reflection. So this is the myth of the Narcissus, right? This young boy is looking into his own reflection, very self-reflective image. So usually you might be this sort of person, but the situation you have is not allowing you to go back to your nature, really. This is your nature. at least what can help you right now, a part of your personality that can help you right now. You might be feeling that you are in some sort of chaos. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do next. Oh my God, there's this thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. I'm so busy. I don't know what to do. It doesn't have to be physical business. It could be mental business, as in busyness. You see what I mean? Hurried and rushed, you might feel like that. But remember to self-reflect. That is one of the ways to calm down the influence of this super chaotic situation. So don't forget to bathe. You can take a shower and then feel better about yourself. And if you can, go into the nature that looks like this. You could go to a park. If you live by the water, if you happen to live by the water, go toward there and then, take a deep breath or two. Now, if it's not available to you, what you could do, you don't have to take my advice, but what you could do is to look into the mirror. Yeah, in the bathroom, let's say you look into your own reflection and then say something nice to yourself. You don't even have to say anything. You can just smile at your own reflection and see how that makes you feel. Now, it's likely that you haven't taken a lot of time for yourself lately because of this situation. So now is the time to move yourself away. Even while things are happening, chaotic things might be happening surrounding you. Maybe your family members are very busy. Maybe your workplace is like, oh, you got to do this, that, and that, and that. And you have to, do the managerial sort of work, and you have to report to your supervisor, blah, blah, blah. But take a little bit of time for yourself. Don't forget to self-reflect, because you are the kind of person who benefits from self-reflection, from self-exploration. So even if it's 1 or 2 minutes a day, don't forget to do that so that you will be more grounded and more calm, like this person in this card, amidst this all chaos. Now, you might think that, well, actually, that's not really accurate, Shizu. I don't really have this sort of situation. What about that? So, let's say you might not have this situation right now. Still, work on your self-reflection. And then as you do self-reflection, you might actually start feeling like this. So don't give in to the inner chaos and continue to ground yourself. So the best way, if you aren't in a chaotic situation, then more likely that you can go outside to a lush environment like this. So enjoy your time in the nature. That is my advice to you. All right, so the summer is coming in the northern hemisphere, so enjoy this lush nature, and if you can, go toward the water and enjoy that lushness. Hello again. So, how did you like your reading? It seems like all the options actually had a somewhat challenging situation, and one of the 2 cards, indicated a somewhat challenging situation, and the other card actually had a suggestion. So I think that the reading actually worked pretty well. Again, like this is all randomly selected, so I didn't know that these cards will work in this way, but hopefully you had some nuggets of inspiration how to go toward the next chapter of your life. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. I welcome any and all comments, but I especially welcome nice ones. So I hope you have a good week and good beginning to the summer. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day and I hope to see you soon. Bye.